Hey guys, welcome to week 37. So I'm going to start us off with the do now question that's going to take us back to last cycle. I'm going to ask you to factor this. So please take a minute, pause your video, and try to factor this. Okay, so remember the factored form looks like this. Two parentheses. There's only one way I can bring up this 1x squared, right? 1 and 1 are the only way. I don't really need that. But how I can break up x squared is x and x, because if I multiply them, they will give me x squared. So then my next question is, how can I break up 15? What are factors of 15? So I have 1 and 15, and 3 and 5. So the question is, I need a positive 15. So these both have to be positives or negatives, either or, right? So I need them to give me this negative, or positive 8, I'm sorry. So will 1 plus 15 give me 8? Nope. Will 3 plus 5 give me 8? Yes. So 3 and 5 are going to be my answers in here. Remember, think about signs. They both have to be same signs, either positives or negatives, because they have to be a positive 15. Well, what way can I arrange the signs that will give me that positive 8? Well, the only way is if I have plus 3 and plus 5 to give me plus 8. So these both have to be positive signs. Okay, so that's what we did last cycle. Where I want to go this cycle is, well, how do I take this further, and how do I solve this to figure out what x is? So before I gave you this expression, but now I'm going to make it an equation. And say, okay, y equals this. Well, if I want to find out what x equals, what I need to do is figure out, well, what's the x-intercept? What do I get when I put 0 in for y? So what do I get if I put 0 in here? So this is super easy. All I'm going to do is take both of these, x plus 3, set it equal to 0. It doesn't matter if the 0 is on this side or this side. We're just used to seeing it on the right side, so that's why I'm putting it there. Take our other factor of x plus 5, set it equal to that same 0. So from here, we just know how to solve this, right? I want to get x by itself, do my inverse, move my 3. So I'm going to get x is a negative 3. And over here, I want to get x by itself. So the same thing, do my inverse. I'm going to get x is a negative 5. And these are my two solutions. So kind of the leap we're making from last cycle to this one is before we factored this, but now we're going to take it one step further and say, okay, once I factor this, what are my solutions? What is x equal to? Okay, so we kind of solved this idea, so I want to give you a U-try. Please, if you will, if I tell you you have some quadratic equation that has solutions of x minus 7 and 3x minus 5 equals 0, what are the solutions? Take a minute, try it, and then we'll talk about it. So what are the solutions if you know this is the factored form? Okay, again, super easy. Just take this factor of x minus 7, set it equal to my 0. Take this factor, whatever you see, 3x minus 5, set it equal to the 0. From here, we're going to solve like normal, right? So I want to get x by itself. Cool, let me move this 7. So I'm going to get, all right, great. X is going to be 0 plus 7 is 7. That is one of your solutions. Okay, over here, a little bit more, but we know how to do this. I want to get x and anything attached to it by itself. So I'm going to do my inverse, move my 5. So I'm going to get 3x going to 0. 0 plus 5 is 5. Last step to separate, divide. And I'm going to get x equals 5 over 3. Check to see if you can reduce this. You can't. So these are your two solutions right here of 7 and 5/3. Okay. So I kind of want to ask you something along these lines, but in reverse. So here's my question to you. All right. the solutions of an equation, the quadratic equations, the solution of a quadratic equation they are, let's say x equals -3 and x equals 8. Okay, what's the factored form? So take a minute, pause the video, see what you think. Okay, so here's the idea. To get back to the factored form, which are these parentheses, that's your factored form, the parentheses, I need to get the x and my number on the same side. So I need to think, what do I have to do that, right? So here's the deal. I'm going to do this for both. I have x equals -3 and x equals 8. Well, how do I get this -3 back over here? I do my inverse and I add it. Remember, x and 3 cannot combine, so I just write x plus 3. -3 and 3 is 0. That is what I want. I do the same thing here. I want to move my 8 back over. I do my inverse. Again, these cannot combine, so I have x minus 8. Again, 8 minus negative, or 8 and -8 is 0. These are your factors. So essentially we're doing the opposite to get them on the same side. So this is what your factored form is going to look like. X plus 3 and x minus 8. Pull that down, make sure you guys can see that. Okay, add a little bit more for you guys. So, oh sorry, I want to check the time. I ran out of time last time. Nope, we got plenty of time. Okay, so I'm going to give you this, and I want to tie it all together. So I'm going to give you n squared minus 3n minus 18 equals 0. So I want you to tell me what are the solutions. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, can I take square roots? That's out of the picture. But let me try to factor. So again, I'm going to make my factored form set it equal to 0. So I'm going to say the only way to break up n squared is n and n. For 18, I have 1 and 18, 2 and 9, and 3 and 6. I have a -18, so that means one needs to be positive, one needs to be negative. So that means they need to subtract to this 3. So which one subtracts a 3? Nope, nope, yep. Okay. So then I'm going to say, all right, I need it to be a -3. So n times 6 would be 6n. This would be 3 times n is 3n. I need this to be the bigger, so I have it here. Okay, cool. We've gone over factoring a lot, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. But remember, once you get it factored, super easy. Set your two parentheses, whatever's in there, equal to the 0. And then keep going. So here, I'm going to get, one of my solutions is n equals a -3. Here I'm going to do my opposite. One of my solutions is n equals 6. So these are my two solutions. Okay, I know I'm going quick, but please pause this video at any time to look at this a little bit more. Okay, here's my next one. I have 2m squared plus 11m equals, equals -12. Okay, here's the deal. When you're looking at this, you always need to make sure your equation is equal to 0. If not, make it equal to 0 by doing your inverse. So we just add 12 to both sides. Okay, 12 will not combine with either of these because this is n squared, this is n. So I have 2m squared plus 11m plus 12, and now -12 and +12 go to 0. Cool, now I'm equal to 0, I'm golden. So what I'm going to do is factor this. There's no common term I can pull out. So, all right, let me factor this. The only way to break up 2 is 2 and 1. So 2n, 1n. There are a couple ways I can break up 12, right? 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. I know we've gone through this, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I'm going to tell you this is the combination to use. Because I need these to multiply to a positive 12, which means they both have to be positive or negative. I need them to then add up to this 11. So how can I do this? I can put 4 here, 3 here. Because this will give me 8m, this will give me 3m, that will give me 11m. All right, cool. Plus sign and plus sign because I need a positive 11. Okay, so we know how to do this, but how do we get our solution? Again, super easy. Take what you see in that parenthesis. Set it equal to your 0. Same thing here. Set it equal to your 0. Keep solving like normal. Subtract your 3. So I'm going to get 2m equals negative 3. Divide by 2. I'm going to get m is a negative 3 over 2. Again, check. This won't reduce. We are good. Here, a little easier. Just move your 4 by doing your inverse. And this would be m equals a negative 4. So these are your two solutions. Okay, I have one more that I want you to think about before we go on. If I were to give you x squared plus 15x minus 3 equals 0, and I ask you to factor it, I want you to pause and think, can you factor this? Okay, so a lot of you are like, no, I can't factor this. The reason I can is this. If I try to factor this, I can break up x and x. But the only way to pick up 3 is 1 and 3. There is no way I can get these numbers to multiply to be a negative 15, right? No matter what I do. So I want you to understand, not all equations can be factored, right? But I want to show us, like, how does it work if we can? But I want you to understand, like, sometimes there are equations like this that we can't factor because there's no way I can get factors of 3, 1 and 3, to multiply to subtract down to 15. That just can't happen. So we're going to talk about how do we handle those in the next couple of objectives. All right, hope that helps. If not, join my office hours. They're in the class link. Also, my number's in there. Love you guys. Bye-bye.